Hey guys, Alex here. Just coming at you with another episode, progress video right now. You have to bear with me. I have kind of a cold, so I'm on push to talk for the first time this series, and I may forget it here or there. It's not gonna be too long of a video, just because I'm sick and I just wanted to put something out. We made some pretty big uh, item progression recently. Um, Me and my buddy were running last night. Just probably played for about 3 or 4 hours. Uh, did the first Twitch stream. Saw a couple of guys in there. Ran some with them. Um, if you want to follow me on Twitch, it's twitch.tv/tinmanjones. The link will be in the description. Um, so as far as the upgrades are, um, let's come over to the cube. So you can see we found the Dawn. We didn't have that last time, so that works perfect for Vengeance. We have a Visage still and a Convention of Elements. Found the new potion too, just, it's a little bit better than the other one. Things we still have are the Rucksack, Wraps of Clarity. These are ancient. Most everything's the same, except for we finally found Focus and Restraint last night. Both are just back-to-back runs. Um, Neither one of them are ancient. Neither one of them had, almost any CDR rolls. Actually, neither one of them had a CDR roll. Um, but they both rolled sockets, so there's that. So we had that set, and then I was running. My entire build was different, pretty much. And before I hopped on to record, I decided, hey, let's go roll a two-hander crossbow out of here. Just um, what is it? Upgrade rare item. I had just two yellow crossbows from Kadala. I'm like, all right, let's try this. Lo and behold, we find an ancient Manticore, which is the last piece we were looking for to change the entire build. Um, Everything rolled pretty good on it. The cluster arrow damage rolled at 60, so I had to reroll that to 80. But it rolled. I used Ramaladni's for the socket, just because this is ancient. I knew this was going to be an item I'm going to have for a long time. So I figured, uh, why not? Um, Pretty good dex roll, pretty good damage roll, pretty medium poison damage roll, and like I said, the cluster arrow was horrible. Good hatred cost reduction roll. Um, so that's pretty much like the entire build. Like, we have all the items technically that we need. Um, Obviously not all optimal. Like, that sentry damage can be higher. I rolled probably 100 million gold worth of rolls trying to get anything higher than 10% cluster arrow damage here, but it just wasn't having it. Could do better there. Got the highest roll there on pretty much both of those. This doesn't really roll anything good. Got the top there. Rerolled Vit on that because this rolled pretty much everything else we needed. Um, Got pretty good crit damage there. Top attack speed there. Um, I don't know if I want the reduced cooldown on that. I think I do, just because I'm pretty close to having Vengeance permanently. There's like a 2 or 3 second off time. Anyway, I was just going to show you guys, kind of where we're at so far. Last video you saw, I was probably about 47 here. Now we're all the way up to about 62. I did a Torment 13 Nephilim run as soon as I got the Manticore and changed the entire build just to see what kind of damage we were talking about. And it took a while, so I don't know if 62 is reliable. I did a 50 in about 6 minutes, so I'm just going to do a 55 here in this video and just kind of see where we are. I'm still getting used to the build, so bear with me there. It's going to be really inefficient, and all of my hotkeys are somewhat different. Um, so most of the skills are the same, but I switched my sentries off of here since I now have the primary. I have a primary and a spender to keep up with. Um, this does some really nice ballistics damage. Is one of the passes we have. So we're using the Maelstrom rune on this to make uh, rockets come out of the cluster arrow blasts, which really gives us, the best bang for our buck as far as the ballistics passive goes. It's really nice. There's not as much initial damage as you would see with like a loaded for bear or anything, but this thing clears a room of like that small crap you don't want to waste an entire cluster arrow on. Well, the little maelstrom rockets that come out from everything clear those up really nicely. So it's really efficient resource-wise as well. Even though resources aren't a huge problem with almost permanent vengeance, and then the manticore passive, um, and then you also have a primary. I'm using evasive fire with focus. It's kind of a cold build, although I'm really not that great with timing it with convention of elements, so I'm thinking about maybe changing uh, that item out in the cube, because I don't pay enough attention really to utilize it, and as little as it's up, I really don't know if it's that good of a damage boost. So I might try to add maybe a toughness. I really like the vault ring a lot, so I might try to roll with that. If any of you have any suggestions with what to put there, maybe in place of the convention, let me know, because that seems like something just personally that I want to do. But I don't know yet. I still got to play around with this a little bit more before um, I have a feel for what I want on the build. And that's kind of how everybody should be. Like, I found a build online, and I'm using that as pretty good base. This is the full build. Um, I have all 3 gems to level 25. I have all the items. I have all the proper like stat gems. But everyone should, at some point just kind of say, hey, I kind of like how this plays, or how I like how this plays, and even if it's not the most optimal for like a greater if 90 or 95, 98% of people aren't ever going to get there, and a lot of those builds are just kind of boring. They're really uh, hard. They're frustrating, and I don't know about anybody here, but I don't play Diablo to be frustrated. I play it because it's a hack and slash with a little bit of progression built into it. This just kind of feeling of, well, I know what I'm going for, and I know what progress is going to look like. So I'm playing it because it's pretty easy. It's a laid back game, but at the same time, there's a little bit of a sense of accomplishment as far as video games go. You can measure it. There are, there's leaderboards, and there's also just personal grade riff levels. There's competition with friends. I mean, not everything has to be optimal. If you want it to be optimal, there's certainly ways to do that, for sure. But still, somebody had to come up with it, and there's no reason that you couldn't be the person to find the hidden gem of you know, this makes this build better because of this at higher rift levels. Um, at the end of the day, honestly, it comes down to comfort with the build, or uh, just skill with the build. But when you're doing 60s and 70s, it's a lot of personal preference and fun. When you're in the 60s and 70s, it means you pretty much have a full build. Um, Maybe some good stats rolled on there to get into that 70 range. Um, I'll take a look at the top build again. I did this, I think, episode 1. Just kind of see what the top build is, and then we'll compare it to now. I don't remember who it was, but I remember what the build was, so we can certainly take a look at that and just see how things are evolving, see if they're evolving, and see what kind of progress people are making. Um, it's one of the things I like about seasonal, is that you can directly compare yourself to other people. Um, there is a baseline. There is a minimum to get on the leaderboard. I don't know what it is. Um, 55 Greater Rift is, I'm assuming that's going to be really low for the leaderboards. But like I said, I mean, season's not even 2 weeks out, and maybe it is 2 weeks. Maybe we're coming up on 3. Um, but the point I'm trying to make is it's still really early. Not everyone has,